Holy crap, we're still on 1 Samuel? Yes, sir, we are. And I hope you stick with me to the end on this one. I'll see what I can do, but no promises. That last installment got just so incredibly stupid. You know that, right? That hurts my feelings, sir, but I'll try to get through this one as painlessly as possible. That'd be great. Now, you could start by giving me some backstory on that death-dealing, mass-murdering psychopath from last time. Doug the Edomite. Doug the Edomite, yes. How on earth did Saul's chief shepherd of all people acquire the ability to single-handedly annihilate an entire town? Boy, that is a great question. And it'd be great if you answered it. Yeah. And while you're looking through that, find out what the entire civilian population of Nob was up to while Doug was busy slaughtering them all. Oh, and find out why God didn't so much as lift a finger while 85 of his own priests were being hacked to pieces. Well. Hello? What do you got? Splunge! What? Splunge. Splunge, eh? What's splunge? Splunge is what we say when we have great logical answers for all those questions, but we simply haven't written them down yet. Okay. Splunge. Sounds like we're getting somewhere. Oh, thank God. So just get those great logical answers put down on paper as soon as you can, will you? Oh, absolutely. Splunge. So, what are David and Saul up to now? A crazy game of cat and mouse as Saul chases David all over the promised land. Oh, what fun. Maybe David covers a lot of ground, often with Saul in hot pursuit. It comes across like one of those wacky chases on Benny Hill. As we know, David fled to Ramah from Gibeah when all this started, and from Ramah he went to Nob for some bread and a sword, then to Gath, where he acted like a crazy man. Okay. And from there he went to Abdullah, where he gathered hundreds of disenfranchised people as followers. Exactly who are these followers? Barely matters. So next, David and his whole crew head to Mizpah to arrange for his parents to stay with the king of Moab until things blow over with Saul. Well, alrighty then. And while that was happening, Nob was being exterminated by Doug, and then David and his band lay a smackdown on some more Philistines in Keilah because God gave them into their hands. Fantastic. And Saul tries to capture David in Keilah, but David eludes him and heads to the desert of Ziph. Ziph. Got it. And when the desert of Ziph proves to be unsafe, he heads to the desert of Maon. Maon, okay. And just when it looks like Saul might catch David, Saul has to break off his pursuit because he gets word that some Philistines are raiding his lands. Phew. And with Saul forced to detour, David heads for the strongholds of En-Gedi. A stronghold, huh? Sounds like he's safe at last. Nope, Saul handles the Philistine raiding problem immediately, and then heads straight for En-Gedi with 3,000 men looking for David somewhere in the Crags of the Wild Goats. Oh really, the Crags of the Wild Goats. I stopped in a cave there once to use the restroom. Oh man, what a coincidence. That's exactly what Saul ends up doing. I don't blame him. The Crags of the Wild Goats are as clean as a Buc-ee's. Good to know. So, as it turns out, the particular cave that Saul ducks into is the exact same one David and his men are hiding in. Wow, what are the odds of that? Apparently 100%, because that's what I wrote. Oh, you're so good at math. So while Saul is distracted, David sneaks up and cuts off a corner of his robe. Seriously, wouldn't that be impossible? Actually, it turns out to be super easy, barely an inconvenience. Oh, really? Yep, because he just, he does it. Have you ever been in a cave? Sure. They're incredibly quiet and still. Yeah. And Saul is just ducking in there to take a leak. He's looking for privacy and thus would be very well aware of his surroundings. True, true. And you're telling me that David can sneak up and take a knife and saw off a hunk of Saul's robe and never be detected? Yes. Oh, wow. So a little bit later, after Saul has rejoined his men, David shows him the piece of robe he cut off, proving he was close enough to kill Saul, but didn't. And despite the gross improbability of actually pulling that off, I gotta admit, that's kind of a fun little reveal on David's part. I'm glad you like it, because we'll be doing it again real soon. Oh, will we? Yep, but first we're going to go on a little side quest to reveal a face of David we haven't seen yet. Oh, character development. I like it. Yes, it's time for the beautiful holy story of Abigail and Nabal. And what's their deal? Well, Nabal is a wealthy man with thousands of goats and sheep, and in the past when David's men had been in the area, they treated Nabal's herdsmen well, and no livestock were lost from his flocks. Aw, that's nice. Sure is. And so considering how his men's protection had benefited Nabal in the past, David asks Nabal if he might supply them with some food. Seems like a reasonable request. I know, right? But Nabal is pretty rude and says, I don't know who you are, so why should I give you anything? Oh, I see. Nabal isn't making the connection that it's been David's men aiding his herdsmen all this time. Correct. Whoops. Whoopsie. So it's a simple misunderstanding then. And David, of course, explains exactly why he would presume to ask Nabal for some supplies. No. Why not? Because David has immediately decided the wisest course of action is to murder Nabal and every male in his household. Wait, what? God's chosen successor decides mass murder is the appropriate response for this imagined slight. Wow, God sure can pick 'em, can't he? Oh yeah, he's batting 1,000. I don't suppose God steps in to educate David that a massacre really isn't an appropriate response for something like this. Nah, but fortunately for Nabal, his hot wife Abigail is smart enough to placate David before the atrocity can occur. Cooler heads prevail. Thank goodness. Bloodshed avoided. Mostly when Abigail tells Nabal that she supplied David with food to avoid all the violence, Nabal goes catatonic. Geez, poor guy. Well, when he recovers, hopefully he'll realize how lucky he is to have a smart, capable wife. Yeah. And how close his misreading of the situation came to getting a lot of innocent men killed. Yeah, that doesn't happen. Oh, really? Yep, because God steps in and sorta murders Nabal. Oh my God. And that allows David to swoop in and snag Abigail as his wife. Oh, God killing a husband so another man can take his wife is tight. Yeah. Hey, what's Saul been up to all this time? Oh, he's still on the hunt for David. And I thought it would be fun to repeat that whole gag from before with the, hey, look, I was close enough to kill you but didn't routine. Oh, did David sneak up on Saul again while he was going pee-pee and hack off another chunk of robe? No, this time God put Saul and his men into a deep sleep, so David's able to just walk up and take a couple of Saul's things. What? God can put large groups of people to sleep at will? Duh. What? That's a total game changer. A sleep spell would work even better than that blindness spell he used on the wicked men of Sodom and Gomorrah. Boy, howdy. It would, wouldn't it? Can you imagine? A blind guy can at least try to fight back, but if an entire army is rendered unconscious, they'd be utterly helpless. Golly, with the overwhelming tactical advantage the sleep spell would give them, God's chosen people could dominate the planet easily and effortlessly, spreading the message that it is He, Yahweh, who is the one true God. And wars could become bloodless affairs of simply putting an enemy army to sleep and then taking all its weapons. No one would ever have to die in battle again. This could start a whole new age of peace and prosperity, uniting the entire world under the righteous dominion of our holy, loving Lord. Sorry, I couldn't hold it together anymore. Dude, you were killing me. God avoiding bloodshed. Oh yeah, that's our boy Yahweh, all right.